Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mama Wears Athleisure. I am your host, Mariela de Santiago, a first-time mom. We focus on all things mom with tips to help make life easier and more organized for all you mamas out there. Hi, everyone. Today I am here with Lisa from FIT4MOMs. We're going to talk a little bit about starting a business as a mama.
Hi. Well, thanks for having me on your show. Wow, it's kind of funny. At the time that we are recording this, we are about to celebrate our 22nd anniversary. Motherhood and business has gone by in the blink of an eye. I started FIT4MOM 22 years ago when my son was newborn, and I really wasn't looking to start a business. I was looking to create a community. I had so many questions about motherhood. So I started a program called Stroller Strides. It's a workout where moms work out with their babies in the stroller. They have fun with other moms and their babies. And apparently I wasn't the only one looking for that, because that class took off and turned into a nationwide business.
That's awesome. I have heard of so many moms mention stroller strides and how that's how they made a lot of great connections and have a community because of that. Can you share a little bit about what drove you to start your business, even though I know you said that you weren't looking to start one, but now that you had that community, what kind of led to making it a business?
Yeah, I mean, the light bulb kind of went off when there was so much interest in the class in my local neighborhood. And I guess I didn't know I was going to become an entrepreneur, but I did like the idea of creating a career that integrated with motherhood, because I started this when I was on maternity leave and I was going to have to go back to managing a health club, which was, a 60 to 80 hour work week. And it wasn't who I wanted to be as a mom. So I was really excited to turn it into a business so that I could walk my own talk and get a chance to work from home and create a business that integrated with motherhood. And when I did that successfully here in San Diego, for me, I just wanted to share that with other moms. And it's why we ended up franchising the business, because I felt like so many women could have the opportunity to have a positive impact in their community, to have a good time, to add extra income to their family. And that's really what it's been for the last 2 decades.
I love all that. And I also just want to say, I love that you're local, because I love highlighting local people.
Love it.
Yes, you made a couple of really, really good points, like the fact that, you're a mom and building a business where you can integrate motherhood. And for me, a lot of that also includes like including your children in that, so that you don't really have to work around somebody else's schedule. It's kind of like it works around your time. And then hopefully, in this case, you can bring your kids with you.
I literally built the business around being a mom. So in those early years, I built the business when baby was napping before he woke up. I'd bring him and nurse at a meeting. It was really, he has been and was a part of the business from the start.
I love that. I feel like I'm doing that with my son too. Sometimes you'll hear him in the background if he, for whatever reason, decided he wasn't going to nap and I have an interview. I'm like, well, I guess he's just going to be in the background, and you just hear baby noises in the background. But like, this is motherhood, and this is what building something means when you are the main caretaker. And
the more we do that, the more we show that it's possible and it's real.
Yes. So with all of that, being a mom, it takes so much of your time, obviously, right? It's a full-time job without breaks. What are ways that moms can find or make time to focus on creating a business?
I mean, time is the answer for everything.
If only we had more of it, right?
Yeah, if we only had more of it. And yet, if I gave you 2 extra hours, nothing would change. Okay. It's not going to change until you decide to hold your time sacred. I hold my time sacred. I'm really, really focused about how I use my time. So I've kind of created a system where you really focus on what are the top 3 things that you need to get done, and you build your life around that first. There's a system that I do called the ideal week, and it's creating a budget for your time. So you know what a budget is for your money. It's a plan for your money. It doesn't always go exactly like that. Doesn't, always go exactly to plan, but at least there's a plan. So I do the same thing with my schedule. So I create an ideal week, and an ideal week is going to have, what time do I need to have set aside for my own self-care, my own exercise? What time do I need to set aside for building my business, for my work? What time do I need set aside for my marriage? And so you block that in, and what falls off are the things that are not important. So what falls off are maybe not binging quite as many shows on Netflix. What falls off is not scrolling my phone as much. What falls off is, for me, and it's, I'm not saying what works for me is going to work for everyone else, is I don't run any errands. That might sound crazy, but my husband runs errands for me, and anything else I have delivered, like groceries, cleaning products. I have built my life around doing what I do well and what I love to do, and learning how to delegate the things that are not for me to do. And only I can raise my kids, and only I can raise my business, but somebody else can clean my toilet. And I don't, and will do a better job at it than I would. So I think figuring out what's most important to you and designing those precious hours, because they are precious. They're the only thing we can't buy more of, to really make sure you're using it to the highest and best use of your time. I call it a level 10 day. Every day I am trying to achieve a level 10 day, knowing that I have really maximized the day.
You mentioned lots of really, really good services. And when you were talking about having things delivered like Instacart, or I use the drive up option at Target because, well, one, it saves me a ton of time. And two, I don't walk in spending $200 and leave without that item I went for, right?
Yeah.
But we are so fortunate to be able to at least have some ability to save time in those areas. So really valid points with that time management piece. And I think time management is so hard for everyone. At least it is for me. You also mentioned like social media and Netflix. Like, it's hard to sit down and say, I'm just going to watch one show because now you want to watch that next episode. Or
yeah, it's really just getting clear on your priorities. Like, I have a pretty strict rule. I love my morning ritual and my morning routine, and it sets my energy for the day. But if I were to open my phone in the morning and check email or check Slack, I would go down the rabbit hole. I'd be reacting to everybody else. I'd be reacting to everyone else's energy. And I wouldn't do that morning ritual and routine that means so much to me. So again, I think really putting some boundaries over what's important to you and holding it sacred, and also being flexible. There's nothing that's perfect by any means, nor am I, nor is my schedule. But if you can get it 80% of the time, you're going to be able to make some really great results for yourself. For me, starting Fit4Mom, failure was not an option, because if I failed, I would have had to go back to work, to a traditional job. And I really didn't want to do that. So I used every moment that I could to build this business so that I could be with my kids.
Hey everyone, it's your host, Mariela. We have a giveaway in July, so be sure to check our website, www.mamawearsathleisure.com, for all the details on how to enter for your chance to win an Original Sprout gift set. What are some challenges that, in your case, popped up, or that can pop up and probably still do on occasion, and how can you overcome some of these?
We have over 200 franchisees, and 99.9% of them are moms, young moms. And so, we do a lot of coaching with them on how to thrive and succeed in business and motherhood. And time really is a big part of it. We do believe, we preach it, we believe it. I believe with every fiber of my being that you do need to have some level of self-care, that you cannot pour from an empty cup. It's what we teach at Fit4Mom, but we really want to make sure our franchisees are doing it too. And so for your listeners, I hope they're doing it too. It might not be perfect, but what is your minimum effective dose of self-care that you need to get in? So maybe that's 7 hours a night of sleep. Maybe that's making sure that you're drinking your water or vitamins. It's different for everybody, but like, what do you need to get in every single day? And you build your life around that. As far as the challenges, when I was building the business, I learned all of this from mistakes that I made. It's literally why I wrote the book, The Empowered Mama, which is about how to reclaim your time, your health, and yourself. I started the business so I could be a mom first and foremost, but the business took off. It was a crazy, crazy rocket ship ride. We were on the Today Show, Entrepreneur Magazine. It was just, on the outside, this incredible success. But on the inside, I was burned out. I was living in overwhelm. I felt so out of alignment with my values because I wasn't taking good care of my health and my marriage and all of the things. And so like I said, I really think that one of the best gifts that you can do as a mom is to live as you one day want your kids to live. Live as you one day want your kids to live. Do you want them to exercise more? Do you want them to stress less? Do you want them to laugh more, dance more? I am now mom to a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old. And I can tell you that from my experience, kids don't really do what you tell them to do, but they may do what you're going to model for them. So it's really a gift of motherhood is take care of yourselves the way you want your kids to. And so making that the foundation, figuring out what's most important to you in your life and building that next. And like I said, letting the other things kind of fall off, or maybe that someone else is going to do those things.
What are some benefits to creating a business? In your case, you mentioned being able to have your children with you and to build that around your children, which I feel like that is such a big perk and so motivating, right? If you want to be the one that is raising your kids. And I know that's not what everyone wants. Some moms want to return to work. It's different for everyone, but I just think of it in my case, like I want to be able to stay home with my son and build this podcast so that it is successful and a resource and all of the other things that I have going on. But I want to be able to do this because I want to stay with him.
Yeah. I mean, first, I want to say being a business owner is not for everyone. And I'm so thrilled about that because I have an amazing team. And if they all wanted to be business owners, I wouldn't have an amazing team. So thinking about, is it the right match for you? The other thing, assuming that all of your listeners are interested in being business owners, not all businesses are going to allow you to be with your kids. I remember coaching a woman who wanted to she had this great idea for this brick and mortar play place to bring kids and stuff, but she ended up realizing she actually couldn't bring her kids there all the time. Like it just didn't work out. And so thinking about if your reason is to have a business with your kids, to make sure that you're building a business where that is a match. I mean, other benefits to owning your own business. I am the quintessential entrepreneur. I could never work for anyone else again. I have more ideas than I have a lifetime to get them all done. I love getting to walk my own talk. I remember being an employee, being a manager at the health club before I started FIT4MOM, and just thinking, I wish they would run it this way. I wish we could do it this way. And it was always no from the owner. So when you're a business owner, you got to walk your own talk. You get to create the culture you want. You get to create the schedule you want. And that's really up to you. And so I think that that's just a beautiful thing. You are in charge of your income. It's not like you can just pay yourself whatever you want, but you can drive the revenue. It is up to you. You're not at the mercy of someone else. So if I want to keep it small, I can keep it small. If I want to turn it into a multi-million-dollar business, I can do that. I love entrepreneurship. I love surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs. I think that it's an incredible time to be an entrepreneur. You have access to more resources and new styles of business. I mean, when I started FIT4MOM 22 years ago, there weren't all of these online businesses. There weren't, all the things that you could do now. So I think it's an incredible time to be a business owner. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it is. I feel like there's so many resources, but I also feel like sometimes there's a little too much. It can be overwhelming. And I find that I have to pick and choose and set little goals because it's so easy to overwhelm yourself with. Mm-hmm. For example, the social media piece, like there's Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and wanting to hit everything, but that takes so much time. So it's more of like,
you can't do everything. I mean, here I am 22 years in the business, and I would still say our Pinterest sucks. I mean, I hope my marketing team's not listening to me. Like, I don't put it on them, but like, that's not where we're putting all of our energy. Our TikTok, it's okay. Like, we can't be everywhere. So for us, we really focus on Facebook and Instagram. I think TikTok, my team is working on growing, but like you can't do everything. What you do, figure out what's the right match for you, do it well, and then figure out who you need. There's a really great book called Who Not How by Dan Sullivan, and I think it's Daniel Hardy. And as entrepreneurs, we're always thinking about how do we do this? How do we be on this and that? And stop thinking about how, but start thinking about who do I need in order to do this? And so you start building your team. So if you really want to do more things or all the things, you need to expand your team, because otherwise you are limited by the resources you have. You are one human being and you have 24 hours in a day. So the more you expand your team, the more you'll be able to do. But I also want to say bigger is not always better. I know lots of people who are solopreneurs with small businesses who are super happy. So, don't get caught up in thinking that to be a success, you need to have this really big business. Sometimes a small business that fits your lifestyle is amazing.
It's different for everyone. So I love that you just mentioned all of that, right? So kind of how I said earlier, some moms want to return to work. Some want to be able to stay home. Some want to build a business. So it's nice to have a variety and just kind of find what is a goal for you and where to start. And also, I'm really glad that you mentioned the kind of the focus and being able to either expand that team or really narrow down on like, what can you do that's a priority? And with that, finally, my last question, do you have any other tips, suggestions, or recommendations on anyone that's interested or has this idea for a business?
Yeah, I mean, if you have an idea for a business, I think don't reinvent the wheel if you don't have to. Look if there's any other models that are out there. It doesn't have to be the same business, but are there any things that are similar? And look at who is excelling in it and what are they doing and how can you learn from it? Are there mentors that you can have? I really like looking for a passionate purpose of what do you love to do? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what will people pay you for? And so if you have an idea for a business, see how many of those are check marks for you, because it might be something people are willing to pay for, but if you don't have a passion for it or you're not good at it, then it's probably not the right path for you. So that would be one of my recommendations there. But surround yourself with people who have been there. I love mentor groups and masterminds and people who are one step ahead of you. And just what can you learn from them? I think that success leaves clues. And so learn from people. I mean, that's what you're doing right here on this podcast by interviewing people who have done it. Learn from our mistakes so that your path can be smoother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking time. I know you're so busy and
everyone is. It's my pleasure.
It's been really nice chatting with you and getting to learn more about you and starting your business. So I appreciate it.
To you and to your listeners. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next week for our next episode. You can find us on Instagram for more updates and tips. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and give us a review if you like us.